Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk with Hana. I'm so happy you're joining us today. Whether you're listening during your morning commute, your lunch break, or right before bed, we're really glad you're here.
Hey, great to see you all again. It's always such a great feeling knowing people from all over the world are tuning in to learn English with us. I love it.
Me too. I was actually watching YouTube last night and I just couldn't stop. I went from one video to the next, and before I knew it, it was 2 in the morning. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, absolutely. That's called a YouTube rabbit hole. And I'm guessing this has something to do with today's topic?
It definitely does. So today we're talking about MrBeast, one of the most famous YouTubers in the entire world, and we're going to use his story to help you learn some really useful English vocabulary and expressions.
That's right. By the end of today's episode, you'll be able to use words and phrases to talk about success, talent, hard work, and luck, things that come up in everyday conversation all the time.
And here's our question for you today. Do you think MrBeast is a genius, or do you think he just got lucky? Think about it and write your answer in the comments. We really want to know what you think.
We always read your comments, so don't be shy. And before we dive in, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to Talk with Hana so you never miss an episode. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, let's start with some really important vocabulary around the idea of success and natural talent. These are words you'll hear all the time in English conversations, at work, with friends, watching the news.
And MrBeast is a perfect example to use because people have very different opinions about him. Some people say he's a born genius, others say he just worked hard, and some say he was in the right place at the right time.
Let's start with that first expression, a born genius. When we say someone is a born genius, we mean they have a natural, God-given ability that most people don't have. It's not something they learned, it's just who they are.
For example, you could say Einstein was a born genius, or she's a born musician. She picked up the guitar and could play beautifully in just a few weeks. Can you think of someone in your life who seems like a born genius? Write it in the comments.
Now, another really useful word is talent. Talent means a natural ability to do something well. We say someone is talented or that they have a talent for something. For example, he has a real talent for making people laugh, or MrBeast has a talent for coming up with creative video ideas.
Great. And then there's gifted. Gifted is similar to talented, but it often sounds a little more formal or serious. You might say she's a gifted writer, or he's a gifted athlete. It suggests something that feels almost like a gift, something special that not everyone has.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. A lot of people describe MrBeast as someone who is not just talented, but also obsessed. And that's a really strong English word. Obsessed means you think about something constantly. You can't stop. It takes over your life.
Right, and MrBeast himself has talked about this. He reportedly watched thousands of hours of YouTube and studied what made videos successful. He wasn't just watching for fun, he was analyzing, learning, obsessing over every detail.
So in English, we might say he's obsessed with improving, or she's obsessed with getting better. It can be positive, like in MrBeast's case, or it can be negative, depending on the situation.
Let's also look at the negative form. If you want to say someone is not a natural talent, you could say he's not a gifted speaker, but he works really hard. Or she wasn't born talented, she just practiced every single day. These kinds of sentences come up a lot in real conversations. Can you write a sentence using gifted or obsessed about someone you admire? Drop it in the comments.
So to quickly review, today we've looked at a born genius, talented, gifted, and obsessed. These are all great words for talking about why someone might be successful.
Exactly. And as we keep talking about MrBeast, notice how these words start to fit together. Sometimes a person is all of these things at once.
Okay, now let's move into our second topic, and this is one I find really inspiring. We're going to talk about hard work and strategy, because even if someone is naturally talented, in most cases, success doesn't just fall into your lap.
Oh, I love that expression, fall into your lap. It means something good happens to you without any effort. For example, she didn't work for it, it just fell into her lap. It's often used in a slightly negative way, suggesting that a person didn't deserve what they got.
Exactly. And in MrBeast's case, success definitely did not just fall into his lap. He started making YouTube videos when he was just 13 years old. He wasn't popular, he wasn't successful right away, but he kept going.
This is where we use the expression, persistence pays off. It means if you keep trying, if you don't give up, eventually your hard work will be rewarded. Persistence pays off is a phrase English speakers use a lot when talking about success.
You could say, learning English is hard, but persistence pays off. Or, he failed his driving test 3 times, but persistence paid off. He finally passed.
Now let's also talk about strategy. A strategy is a plan, a smart, organized way of reaching a goal. In business or in life, we say someone has a clear strategy or that they're strategic. MrBeast didn't just make random videos. He studied what works, he tested different ideas, and he built a strategy.
First, he focused on getting people to click on his videos. That's what we call a thumbnail strategy. Second, he focused on keeping people watching, what we call watch time. Third, he created content that people wanted to share.
Wow, that's really smart. So when you say someone is strategic, you mean they think carefully about their plan and make smart choices. For example, she's very strategic about how she studies. She focuses on the most important topics first.
Now, here's a quick practice activity. Think about something you're trying to get better at. Maybe English, maybe a sport, maybe cooking. Can you describe your strategy in 1 or 2 sentences? Try writing it in the comments using words like strategic, persistence, or focus.
And don't forget, being strategic is something you can learn. You don't have to be born with it. That's the beauty of it. Let's also compare formal and informal ways to talk about this. Formally, you might say he developed a comprehensive content strategy. Informally, with a friend, you'd say he figured out what works and just kept doing it.
Both are correct, just different levels of formality, and knowing when to use each one is a really important part of speaking natural English.
Great point. So in this section, we covered fall into your lap, persistence pays off, strategic, and strategy. These are all super useful in everyday conversation, especially if you're talking about work, school, or personal goals.
Okay, so now let's talk about the other side of the debate, luck and timing, because some people look at MrBeast and say he was just in the right place at the right time. And that brings us to a really important English phrase, the right place at the right time.
This phrase means someone succeeded not just because of their own ability, but because of fortunate circumstances, meaning the situation around them worked in their favor. You hear this a lot. He got the job because he was in the right place at the right time, or she met her business partner by luck. Total right place, right time situation.
MrBeast started YouTube in 2012. YouTube was growing fast, social media was exploding. The algorithm was starting to reward the kind of big, dramatic content that MrBeast makes.
Some people argue that if he had started 5 years earlier or 5 years later, things might have been very different. And that's where we use the word timing. Good timing means doing something at exactly the right moment. His timing was perfect, or bad timing. She arrived just as the meeting was ending. Timing can make a huge difference in life, and English speakers talk about it a lot.
Let's also look at the word opportunity. An opportunity is a chance to do something good, a door that opens. The expression we use is he seized the opportunity. To seize means to grab quickly and take advantage of. So she saw an opportunity and she seized it.
Here's a great example sentence. When YouTube started rewarding longer videos, MrBeast seized the opportunity and made even bigger productions. That sentence uses both opportunity and seized really naturally.
Now, let me give you a mini practice. I'm going to say the start of a sentence and I want you to finish it. Say it out loud. Ready? I once had an opportunity to... Go ahead and finish that sentence. Then write it in the comments. We'd love to read your answers.
Oh, I love that. Mine is, I once had an opportunity to travel abroad for work and I seized it. Best decision I ever made. Can you do the same? Write yours below.
Another useful phrase is lucky break. A lucky break is an unexpected event that helps you succeed. He got his lucky break when a famous person shared his video. Or her lucky break came when the original singer got sick and she had to perform instead.
And remember, sometimes luck and hard work go together. There's an old saying in English, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So even if MrBeast got some lucky breaks, he was ready for them. He had put in the work. That's a really important idea.
In this section, we covered right place at right time, timing, seize the opportunity, and lucky break. These are all phrases that will help you sound natural when talking about why someone succeeded or didn't.
Beautiful. Now let's move on to some common mistakes English learners make when talking about these topics.
Okay, here's my favorite section, common mistakes. And I'll be honest with you, I've made all of these mistakes myself when I was learning English, so please don't feel embarrassed. Mistakes are how we learn.
Absolutely. Let's look at 4 really common errors. First, and this one happens a lot, mixing up lucky and fortunate. Both mean good things happened to you, but fortunate is more formal. You wouldn't normally say, I'm so lucky to find this parking spot. That sounds a bit stiff. But you also might sound too casual if you say, I'm lucky to receive this prestigious award. Try to match the level.
Right. So, incorrect. I am very lucky to accept this honor. Correct. I am very fortunate to accept this honor. And on the flip side, incorrect. It was fortunate that I found my keys. Correct. It was lucky that I found my keys. Does that make sense? Write a sentence in the comments using either lucky or fortunate, and we'll tell you if you used it naturally.
Second mistake, using genius too casually. In everyday English, people do say things like, that's genius, to mean something is a clever idea. But don't say, he is genius. That's incorrect. You need to say, he is a genius with the article a. Genius as a noun always needs that article.
So, wrong, she is genius at marketing. Right, she is a genius at marketing. Or you can use the adjective form, that was a genius idea. That's perfectly fine. The key is when you use it as a noun to describe a person, always say a genius.
Third mistake, confusing talent and skill. This is a really common one. A talent is something natural, you're born with it. A skill is something you develop through practice. So you wouldn't say, I have a talent for typing, unless you were born being able to type. You'd say, I have a skill for typing, or better yet, I'm a skilled typist.
Think of it this way. Talent is the seed. Skill is the plant you grow from it. MrBeast might have a talent for creativity, but his editing, scripting, and business skills were all developed over years of practice.
Fourth, and this one makes people smile, saying he worked hardly instead of he worked hard. Hardly, it means almost not at all. I hardly slept means I almost didn't sleep. He hardly worked means he barely did anything, but he worked hard means he put in a lot of effort. Completely different meanings. Never say she worked hardly when you mean she worked a lot.
Don't worry, these mistakes are super common and now you know how to fix them. The most important thing is to keep trying. Every mistake is a step forward.
So let's review. Use lucky versus fortunate based on formality. Always say a genius, not is genius. Know the difference between talent and skill, and never say worked hardly, say worked hard. You've got this.
All right, let's make this fun. It's time for our activity. Choose the correct sentence. I'll give you 2 options. Think about which one sounds more natural, then we'll talk through it together.
And please say the correct sentence out loud. Speaking out loud is one of the best ways to make English feel natural. Don't just read, actually say it.
Okay, situation 1. You're telling a friend about a successful entrepreneur. Which sounds better? Option A, she is genius. Option B, she is a genius.
Option B, she is a genius is correct. Remember, always use a before genius when it's a noun describing a person.
Situation 2. You want to say that a person succeeded because of good fortune, not effort. Which is better? Option A, success just fell into his lap. Option B, success just fell to his lap.
Option A. We always say fall into your lap, not to your lap. Prepositions are tricky, but this one is easy to remember once you hear it a few times.
Situation 3. You're talking about MrBeast's dedication. Which is correct? Option A, he worked hardly every day. Option B, he worked hard every day.
Option B, without a doubt. Worked hard means he put in effort. Worked hardly would mean he barely worked, the complete opposite.
Situation 4. You want to tell someone that their persistence will pay off one day. Which sounds more natural? Option A, don't stop, luck pays off. Option B, don't stop, persistence pays off.
Option B, persistence pays off is the fixed expression English speakers actually use. Luck pays off isn't a natural phrase, though you could say luck played a big role.
Now here's your challenge. Create your own sentence. Use any of the expressions we learned today. A born genius, persistence pays off, seized the opportunity, or lucky break. Write it in the comments about yourself, someone you know, or even MrBeast.
Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Real conversation is never perfect. What matters is that you try, you communicate, and you keep going. That's exactly what MrBeast did, and look how far he came.
Wow, what an episode. I'm so proud of everyone who made it all the way to the end. That tells me you're serious about learning English, and that commitment, that's exactly what we talked about today.
That's right. Let's quickly recap what we covered. Number 1, we learned vocabulary for natural talent, like a born genius, gifted, talented, and obsessed. Number 2, we talked about hard work and strategy, like persistence pays off, strategic, and fall into your lap. Number 3, we explored luck and timing, like right place at the right time, seize the opportunity, and lucky break.
And we covered some really important mistakes to avoid, like worked hardly versus worked hard, and always remembering to say a genius with the article. These small things make a huge difference in how natural you sound.
So here's a reflective question for you to think about, and please write your answer in the comments. When you look at your own journey learning English, do you think you've been more lucky, more talented, or just really persistent? We genuinely love to know your story.
And if this episode helped you, please give us a like, share it with a friend who's learning English, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to Talk with Hana. Every new episode, we bring you real, useful English that you can actually use in your daily life.
Learning a language is one of the most amazing things you can do for yourself. It takes time, it takes effort, and yes, sometimes it takes a little luck too. But you're here, you're trying, and that already makes you extraordinary. We believe in you.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You're what makes Talk with Hana so special. Until next time, keep practicing, keep speaking, and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's all from us for today. You've been amazing. See you next time.